Welcome to the Antlered podcast, where we discuss brews, witchcraft, spirituality, and more.
We hope through conversation we can continue the trend of the collective awakening, or maybe just be more kind and accepting of people.
Today we'll be drinking a tea called beer.
Because we forgot to change it again.
We forgot to change out the thing again.
We had tea last time, yeah.
So this tea is a very special kind of tea, and it's beer.
And then we're going to be speaking to a very fun and informative witch talker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So come on in.
Beyond the weather and the marsh, there is a whisper in the dark through the tides of disarray. Where we list unnoticed the way. If you listen very still, there are answers to the ends, where the ancient pulses deep of the memories you keep.
Welcome to the Antlered Crown podcast. I'm Elwyn, and I'm fourth generational hedge witch.
And I'm Amanda, the mom writer, and I derail conversations.
You actually wrote that.
I did, because I was like, yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
you do a bit. It's fun.
But not today. Not today, because today we're going to speak to the creator of Gentle Hearts Unite, #1, a witch talker who represents and educates us about the culture of Mordovia, Russia, and somehow still has time to take beautiful photos and is a photographer and teaches us chaotic Soviet dance moves. So,
Yes, we are speaking to Vlasta Pilot.
yay!
Hi, привет, привет.
Ta-ta-la.
How are you?
How are you?
Good. In Russia, we say, like, when somebody asks you, как дела? Like, how are you? You say, пока не родила. Didn't give birth yet. I have no background or no explanation
So
for it.
funny.
That's just what you say.
That's
Like,
amazing.
пока не родила. And people are like, okay,
Oh, all right.
yeah.
My grandma has a saying, and it's called handful of bees, but it pretty much means like holy shit. And like she's like, I don't know where it came from, but it means handful of bees.
Fair enough.
So
I mean, if you have
And I'm
handful
like,
of bees, that sounds like a lot of shit.
yeah, it sounds like holy shit.
Yeah.
So same thing, I guess.
I guess.
These crazy Slavic countries. What are they doing? What are you guys doing?
Ride
Love
bear
it.
to work, you know.
Yeah.
The usual.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So do you want to talk? What beer do you want to have?
I'm gonna have this one because I don't like saison. I don't even know what a saison is, but I think it's sour.
Okay, I'll have this pretty one.
It's Rheingeist.
Ooh. Is it a cider?
Apple, mango, and tangerine.
Ooh, it's an ale.
Wow.
I have a plum, tart plum saison. Oh, mine's from
Japan.
Japan. Is it really?
I don't know. I just saw the cherry blossoms and assumed it might be
I
Japan.
don't know. It looks good though. From Orpheus Brewing. Where's yours from?
The fridge.
Ryan Guy.
The fridge.
The
Did you
fridge.
say the fridge?
Yeah. That's all I know.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Oh, there's no, it just says Ohio.
It's in Ohio.
Okay. All right.
Next time, you guys should try a Russian beer called Rasputin.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I think we had Rasputin.
That was a stout.
Is it a stout? Or is
Yeah.
it-
Mhm.
Yes,
No,
we've
I've
had
had
that.
it.
That's good.
Yeah, I like
All
stout.
right. Tuck in. Where's yours?
Awful.
Do you like beer? Or not usually?
I think depends. Like, I don't like mixed like fruity beers or anything.
Mhm.
Just like a stout or any kind of like light beer if it's too hot. So
Yeah.
I do like beer, I think.
They're
Do you like
all-
either of them?
No.
I like both.
This isn't a beer.
It's an ale.
It's like Cappies.
Oh,
No, it's like
we're not going to get sponsored by anybody if you keep going at this rate.
it's just it's lost. It's got so much fruit in it. It's
Mhm.
lost any kind of beer flavor.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
I'll just
I
drink
don't-
I
them
feel
both.
you.
Yeah, I like the malt flavors.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I like that's why I think it's just what I'm used to.
Yeah,
honest.
maybe it's a European thing
It could be.
because I'm from Illinois and I love this shit. I love fruity beers, actually. No,
I like fruity drinks, but not beer. Beer usually is just doesn't
Yeah.
do it like when it's fruity. Like beer needs to stay beer.
Yeah. I
I'm
agree.
gonna sound beerophobic, but beer needs to stay in its lane.
No, I agree.
Nah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fair point.
Yeah.
We Americans like to try and make beer things they shouldn't be.
It's like you put peanut butter on everything to try
God,
and
I
improve
love
it.
peanut butter.
You deep fry
love-
pizza. What are you talking about?
Man.
Yeah, that's
Mhm. I mean, I would try maybe.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I'd try anything once, but that sounds like a heart attack.
it does, doesn't
Yeah.
I once had a deep fried Mars bar.
Mm.
Ah.
They do that.
What's a
with it.
Mars bar?
It's a candy bar, chocolate candy bar. They
Okay.
just
Oh yeah.
they dip it in batter and deep fry it.
Mm.
That is a heart attack.
That's a literal heart attack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
Sounds like it.
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
You start.
Okay,
No, okay.
Vlasta.
He has this whole sheet here.
I do because I have a terrible memory.
Yeah.
It is so nice to meet you. We were excited to have you come talk
Yeah.
to us.
Not anymore.
No. I
No,
said
not
that
anymore.
as in the past tense. So you're originally from Mordovia,
Mm-hmm.
Russia, correct?
Yeah. I mean, my family's from. I was born in Russia, like St. Petersburg.
Okay.
Ah, right. Okay. And you are living in LA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So this is one I want to know. Are you a first generation witch?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you has it been in your family? Have your family practiced it for generations?
I think when you talk about specifically Russian or Slavic people, it's a little bit tricky
Mm-hmm.
in a way that technically I would say generational witch,
Hmm.
just because my grandma practiced it, my mom practiced it, but at the same time, they would never call themselves a witch.
Yeah, I understand what
So
you-
like I can't like really say, oh well, yes, this is
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like generally in Russia, especially, people are very into mysticism and any kind of like stuff like that. And it's not anything recent or anything new. That's
Right.
just has always been the thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've never been properly trained or anything like that. But when you live around those people and they just do things and you kind of watch and you do things the same way. And
Right.
then when I moved to America, I was like, wait, people call it witchcraft over here.
Yeah.
Hold up. Like I didn't realize what it was. For me, it was just like a thing that I do that my grandma does.
Yeah.
It's not anything like
It's yeah.
Yeah.
It's just what
I
you
don't
grew
know
up
if it's the communism that is just like you're not supposed to say anything. You just
with. Mm.
do your thing.
Right.
You hope not to die. So I don't know
Oh, no.
I don't know which one that is, but they just don't call themselves anything.
Yeah.
Most of them. One of my grandmas, she was technically a practicing witch, but she would say that she's a Christian lady. But the things she would do,
Mm.
Yeah.
like
Question
I
mark.
could
Yeah.
hardly call them Christian. But I
Mhm.
think the fact of the existence of dual faith in Russia, the mix of
Mhm.
paganism and Christianity, and
Mhm.
kind of like, especially when it comes to small communities, like if the community has a priest or a church,
Yeah.
priests are usually kind of chill about it.
Yeah. They're not.
And
Yeah.
it's more in this, as long as it serves the community, because he knows people are gonna want to come to my grandma for healing or for whatever,
Mhm.
so he might as well make it under the influence of God, like she got a gift from God to heal people and yada yada and all that.
Mm.
So she's technically blessed by the church, and it's kind of like a peaceful situation where
Gosh, that'd be
she
so
does what she
nice.
does.
Like in
Yeah.
other countries.
That was,
It's like the rules are flexible.
Yeah.
So as long as people benefit and everybody becomes more happy, and the person, the priest, is adequate more or less,
Mhm.
because people can be all types of way. But
Right.
if you get a good one, they're usually like, whatever. Just
Mm,
make
just-
sure
it's part.
when
yeah.
the time comes, I can call you and ask for a favor.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Right.
it's a favor kind of economy.
Okay.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate to that,
Right.
Because I think it was the to say the word witch. I think for my family, that was the thing that everyone would call them a witch. They wouldn't call themselves a witch.
Mm.
Yeah. Mhm.
And because I think they had grown up in a time where to claim yourself to be a witch is too much in a sense. People judged it too harshly.
Mhm.
But as you say, it's one of those things people will quite happily accept as long as no one actually points it out,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
everyone benefits. Yeah. So yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. I think they're more like of cunning folk. That's how
Yes.
they're like seen by everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like healers and stuff. They do other things, like
yeah.
taking off evil eye and all of that, which
Yeah.
Mhm.
but at the same time, there's so many names also for somebody who's a witch in Russian
Right.
language. So you could literally, there's like, I don't know, 16, 17 different ones. So it's
Nice.
not even,
Yeah.
you don't even have to call yourself a witch. You could call yourself that specific word for that
Mhm.
specific thing that you do, kind of that explains who you are in your craft type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that how you identify? Because I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but you said Ezra witch,
Erze.
Erza witch. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that one of
Well,
the names
Erza-
then?
It's more of it used to be a Finno-Ugric tribe that was living on the territory of Russia, like prior to Slavic people,
Okay.
and then they kind of like evolved and moved around and became. Now they're like the category is Mordova, which would be like Moldovan people.
Okay.
So it's an ethnic group and like a tribe type of thing, I guess.
Right.
I don't want it to be confused with, Native American and indigenous tribes. It's a little bit different.
Mhm.
Like the way they're classified, it's sort of similar, but not really. So it's when it's a different country, it's
So
also
it's-
different reality. So it's hard to
Yeah.
use the same words for different realities.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was thinking similar to is that not the same? Sami. The Sami people kind of popped into mind. That's in a sense is that the people who've like nomadic
Mhm.
people who like belong to that land, have lived there for so long.
Right.
But there is this kind of everyone's trying to be respectful of each other's traditions, I suppose.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's where things can go wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot lost in translation right now too in the witch talk community, because everyone wants to be so they don't want to step on anyone's toes for sure, and nobody wants to be disrespectful of another person's culture. But you get Karens and it's like you need to back off a little bit now,
it's
because
a double-edged sword.
it
'cause
is
it's like
absolutely
this whole sort of thing where you
Yeah.
like, let's cancel it, like cancel this, you're not allowed to do this. But what if someone who genuinely has an interest in a certain path,
Mhm.
like, and you say to them, well, you can't, and it's like, but I genuinely have a feel like I have a calling to this.
Mhm.
No, this is something that I'm really interested in, and it sort of resonates deeply with me.
Yeah.
And it is a double-edged sword, because you have to
Absolutely.
be sensitive,
You
but
do.
at the same time, that's the whole point of witchcraft as well, is that it does adapt, it changes.
Well, in witchcraft, you should be studying multitudes of
Oh.
religions and spiritualities anyway, just because you should know as
Yeah.
much as you
Where's
can.
my beer? You're drinking.
I took it.
I'm going to drink this then.
Okay.
Are you going back to it? You're giving up
Yeah.
on your morals and your standards?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you did. That was quick. That's how I got
You're
you to
easy.
marry me.
Okay. I
Gave
see
up on
what's
the
going
morals
on.
and standards.
My goodness.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm sure you have a spell for that too.
Yeah, right.
We don't do those.
No, it's just my good looks. Anyway, sorry. I'll stop. Okay.
Go on.
I mean, you're doing your job. You're supposed to be the disruptor. So
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you.
We
Man.
can't really say anything.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just gotcha. Okay, so our next question was, how do you think your practice has developed or changed since you first began studying witchcraft? Which you kind of answered a little bit
Yeah.
when you talked about your family history, but
I think now it's a lot less spells. Actually, it's a lot less about
Okay.
like what witch duck thinks is witchcraft is. I don't know. That sounds like I don't want to hate on witch duck because there have been like just super accepting and just wonderful people overall. Aside
Right.
from a few, but in general.
Yeah.
So I think what people ask me, that's what I
Mhm.
judge for. Like the things that they ask me for, I'm like, why would I
Right.
do that? That's
Mm.
in the what? I don't know. It's kind of more like if ritual is not targeted towards kind of creating a communal feeling between friends or women, I
Yeah.
rarely do anything like that. If
Mhm.
just for myself, I just feel too lazy to even do anything. I'd rather like actually, I don't know, if I need somebody to calm them down, I'd rather call them than do a spell.
Mhm.
So that type of way. I think now it's more working with energy of the world in general, sort of like
Mhm.
calling on certain things onto yourself and for yourself
Right.
by sort of strategically doing certain things in your life and acting in a certain way with people, or rather choosing to act in a certain way, especially on TikTok. You know how that people, if you are reactive, things can go really wrong. So some people really see one comment and they just go off, and you're like really like it's what is it called, chronically online behavior.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
in terms of like witchcraft, for me it's more like about stepping back a little bit, spending a little bit less time on TikTok, whether it's kind of hard to spend a little bit less time on TikTok because
It
it's
is, yeah,
addictive.
because it's addictive.
But just more having a bigger picture in mind, and always one thing that I try to think is like, am I trying to be right or do I want to understand? Those are the things. So usually once I ask myself that, like I never argue with anybody in the comments, like unless I have like a catchy thing to say and I would respond to that. But other than that, like people write all sorts of things to me. Like if I were to respond to all of them, it's just my TikTok would be just me like screaming at people for whatever reason.
Gosh,
so
you
I
have
try
to
to
protect
be
your energy, like, because that,
yeah.
Okay.
And for me, it's like, what do I want people to
Yeah.
get out of this TikTok? There's a certain thing or a certain message that I want to put out, and I use the platform for that, TikTok, Instagram, or whatever I make, as far as like my magazines, my drawings, my writings, all of that kind of guides me towards an energy that I try to work with. So I think it's very more using your life as a bigger spell for something, like not one tiny little spell, but it's a long time, like a long playing spell. I don't know. I like the ones that, especially if you plant anything, so the spell like has to go through a certain stages of life, and then it comes to fruition at some point. It teaches you patience and just overall how things work in life, that you can't just like, I'm gonna put some honey on their photo and they're gonna call me. I mean, maybe they will, but also maybe you don't want them to call them, so you maybe want to wait around a little bit.
Yeah, that's difficult. I know we have, I do have to say this, and we have a lot of female witch talk friends, and I've noticed they get so much hate. Like Elwin's actually been really lucky, I have to say. Maybe like 4 people ever have like come at him, and I don't know if that's a female. I'm sure it's a female
I hate
thing.
to think this, but I think it may be.
It has to be, because or they're scared of you. Or the other.
Well, it's hard not to like you. That's one.
No.
That's one. And I mean, hope you're not gonna hate me for it, but also a little bit of white privilege could be there too.
Absolutely.
Being a white man in social media space is a little bit.
Oh no, I agree.
Completely different. Oh, totally.
Yeah,
No,
I think that's true.
That's very true too.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
It does. It does.
I mean, I feel like when you are who you are and you use what you have and you use your privilege to be
Mhm.
kind to others, and it's not something that you use for hype or
Yeah.
just for praise or anything like that. So that's all there is.
Yeah.
That's all you could do. Like in day to day, I mean, you could do more if you wanted to, but it's more like about that, I think. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never thought about you that way. I
No.
think if I did, I wouldn't have,
Come on.
talked to you this way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so you heard it here. You can come hate on Ellen's page if you want to. You can throw some mean comments on us because we
But make
deserve
sure,
our fair
because I'm
share.
going to be there.
Yeah,
I'm going to be there
watch,
responding to them.
but watch your back. Yeah, that's
Right.
funny. No, I do wonder about that a lot because it's like you've either been really lucky or
I think during my lives,
Mhm.
you usually get someone in, and they're not bad. They usually want to talk to me about Jesus or something,
Mhm.
and I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
It's the only thing I don't mind that. I understand why they're trying to do that.
Well, that's part of their religion.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same point, you have to still respect what I believe.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is, and I don't know. That's the only thing that annoys me.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's
like
all.
it was like Vlasta was saying though. Has to take a step, and I'm hoping I'm using the right pronouns. So she said that she was, choosing how she wants to conduct herself on the page and what she puts out there. And so I think you're kind of making the choice not to engage. He very rarely even talks in the comments. So like you put a TikTok out and then you're like, unless someone has a legitimate question, I'm not
Do
going
you know why that is?
engage.
Do you know what that is? This just sounds really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that if I just responded to one comment because it just happened to appear, like I would feel bad for anyone who saw them. It was like, why didn't he reply to me?
Oh.
Because I do, and I think it's always like I don't want people to think I'm singling someone out just because they said something witty. So then I sort of just wait, and if someone actually
so I shouldn't try on my comments. All right. I'm not gonna get a response anyway.
No, that's I mean I like them. I like lots of comments.
You like lots of comments.
And that's my way, because everyone gets a heart, then I'm just like, yeah, like that.
And we do try if like there's someone
I'm like, yeah, fine, that's not like that.
We do try. There's like at least 4 or 5 people that we've asked to reach out to us on Instagram that have had like legitimate issues or legitimate questions. And we're like,
issues like with you?
I'm sorry?
Issues like with you?
Oh, no.
Sorry. I help him with his Instagram page. So I'm like, if I see a comment,
who could have an issue? What was the issue?
Right? No, but there have been people. There have been, and like, they're coming after my man, and I'm kind of like, I'm right here. That's interesting.
Like flirting, you mean?
Oh yeah, they'll come, or they'll just be like, I don't think they realize that I not that I act stupid, but that I am bubbly, I guess I would say, on purpose to be more engaging during the lives or during the podcast. Like I'm going for my master's degree. Like I'm not a dumb blonde.
But I mean, even if you were.
So people have hated on me for that a few times now. They're like,
that you're a fun person.
Girl. Yeah, I know.
Someone actually said that, didn't they?
They said, they're like, who's this stupid person? You need to drop them. Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Oh, bitch. What the hell?
We kicked her off.
We kicked her. But I mean, still, you got haters.
What the hell?
Yeah. People are crazy.
I don't recognize it. I'm
you don't. It's
stupid.
Like,
I'm just like, oh, weren't they thoroughly nice? And she's like, they were flirting with you. I was like, were they? I just thought they were being nice. I honestly don't see it. I don't see it.
No, you don't.
Can't help.
You got to tell me when you do a lie, so I'll come and flirt with her. So you,
yes,
people do. People do.
Yes, they should.
All right.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Anyway, how did we get here? Where did we start?
With the beer. That's what.
The beer. That's what helped us. Honestly. What's something you've learned from your practice? I like this question.
I mean, as outside of the practice itself, I'm assuming. Like, are you asking in general in life?
In a general life sense, yeah.
Freedom, I guess.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think that's mostly why I like it so much. It's also like my own personal creativity style of doing things, like that I don't really have to, because I'm a photographer and I'm an illustrator and so many other things, and so like my final creation has to, go out and be of use to somebody else. And with witchcraft or with my practice, like it doesn't have to be of use to anybody. It could just disappear in a second, or not work at all. So I kind of like that it's just out there somewhere. I keep creating because I can't stop, and I hope that it does something. And usually it does, but like I don't like to control it too much. So this is more of like freedom of doing that, expressing yourself in the way that you feel like you want to, and just not restrain yourself in any way, like not have any rules, not have any shame about stuff. That's what I think it's more about. Once shame is removed, a lot of things, when somebody tells you can't do it, that's what you want to do. But when you've done it, you're like, I don't know what this was about. Like, why? Why was this such a big deal? And so I think people should be maybe allowed more things.
No,
they wanted to do.
Life advice. Listen to her.
Yeah.
What about you? Now I'm curious.
It sounds really weird.
No.
I think I'm one of those people who need to find the truth of something. Like the truth for me was always ingrained to be incredibly important.
Yeah.
And what I have learned is there is no truth.
Yeah.
There is nothing that is actually true. There is only the perception of another. And the world is made of people trying to sort of voice their perception of something, their opinion of something, and people who may get it, people who don't get it, but no one truly sees exactly what another person sees. And so therefore nothing is true. And it was something that was a bit of an eye-opener that seems so obvious now. That was, if nothing is true, then there is so much like that you can be open to. There is so much to learn.
Right.
Instead of just the pursuit of what is true, you can learn from almost everything else instead that you're missing out on originally. That was one of the things that took me some time, probably more than some people to realize, because it was, that's I used to do was archaeology. And that was something that was the pursuit of truth. Like you'd have something in a trench, maybe even a body or something from like 1500 years ago, and you want to know, you're trying to figure out why this was here.
Is this here?
Even if it's just like a midden where people throw rubbish, you're like, why is this midden here? There must be some kind of living quarters or something close by, or a field that they were using it to do. And I was terrible at that. Well, I was good at my job, but it was terrible because I needed to know. So I pursued that, and I had to know. But that was something else that taught me, because you're never going to know. It's in the past. You're never going to 100% be able to say, I know exactly what happened here.
Right.
And plus, there's so much room for interpretation.
Exactly. It's
of certain things.
Yeah. And everyone's interpretation is complete, no matter how similar, is different. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And I always used to think that was sort of like a flaw in a way that people can never, but I think as I've got older, I've realized it's not a flaw. It's actually quite a wonderful gift that humanity has, because if everyone did actually think the same and believe in one truth, it would be a very ignorant world.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was deep. Thank
it was
you.
A bit deep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I liked it.
Oh, okay.
Freedom and truth. I like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe the lack thereof of truth.
Well, that is the truth. That is the only truth. That
the truth
nothing
is
is
that
true.
nothing is true.
And therefore that vetoes itself out.
That'd be a great shirt. It's true. Nothing's true. It could be
there you go. Merch ideas.
Merch.
You just have it on a loop, couldn't you? It's true. Nothing's true. It's true. Nothing's true. Put it on toilet paper.
That's a spell.
Yeah. There you go.
It is actually.
There you go. Write it down.
Ooh, yeah. Write it down.
I like that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Your go.
Okay.
Unless Vlasta, if you have any
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
for us
any
too,
questions?
you just throw them out. You're good.
I will. I try to like stay in my lane, not derail the whole conversation. But
That's my
That's her
job.
job, yeah.
yeah, I do that.
No, you can. It's honestly totally fine. Usually our podcasts are like, I don't even know. What do we normally talk about?
I don't know. It's a bit like watching a goose with one leg just run for it.
Mhm, yeah.
It goes about, but it gets where it needs to, but it loops and
A goose.
you know.
Oh.
How's he running with one leg? That's a
Yeah.
Well,
He's
he's hopping. I
so
know
he's not really running. He's just like stumbling, rolling.
Well,
He's
and
just like kind
stuff.
of rolling around.
yeah. My uncle had a goose with one leg.
Huh.
Yeah, and it had one eye as well. Yeah,
That poor goose.
That's fun.
yeah. He was perfectly fine.
I mean, I'm sure the goose didn't know that he was poor. He was like, "I'm fine.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
good.
I'm
he was
alive."
good. He was a fantastic guard goose. He was
A guard goose.
very angry goose.
He had a lot of unresolved traumas.
Yeah,
He had a lot of shadow work to do.
Yeah.
That's funny. Anytime somebody starts talking about goose, I remember always I start thinking about chickens. I don't know why, and that's maybe like a Slavic peasant thing.
Yeah.
And I remember like how my grandparents would teach me about life in general. They would,
Mhm.
you know, because they grow their own chickens, so they eat them as well.
Yeah.
So somebody has to go out and like kill the chicken.
Kill the chicken.
So like I'm not gonna get into details, but it's like it's not like it's
not pretty.
it's not pretty, and like
Yeah.
I mean they like run without their head for a while,
Ooh.
so it's for
Yeah.
somebody who's like 5 years old and like your uncle's just like
Yeah.
and you're like, why did you have to do that in front of me? He's all like, you need to learn about life, you need to understand. And you're like,
that's very fair. That's a pretty good image of life. Just a headless chicken running around.
Yeah.
yeah, no, for him it was more like, you need to grow your own food, you need to understand, you're gonna have to kill the chicken, you're gonna have to kill the chicken. So it's more about that, like
Yeah.
not being a wuss, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's so like I feel like Slavic culture is a lot about like making sure people know you're not a wuss.
Yeah. That's fair.
Fair
So
enough.
I think even with like what people stereotypes that people put on Russians also kind of have to do that, even though like none of them are really true. Like we're not really
Yeah.
that into bears.
We're never really that into
as much. I feel like it's just like a landscape thing, just because there are
Yeah.
a lot of forests.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you have a lot of bears. But the whole thing of having a pet,
yeah.
a bear
A pet
being your
bear.
pet,
Yeah.
that's more like to just make sure the people are scared of you rather than actual truth.
Makes sense. I
It
suppose,
makes
doesn't
sense,
it?
to be honest. Yeah.
That's actually something I wanted to talk about. Is that people really do? I thought this was hilarious. People on TikTok really do seem to have a problem identifying the difference between Mordovia and Moldova.
Oh yeah, I don't know why.
I was watching that, but it makes me laugh because you're from there, and that they are like telling you that it doesn't
No,
exist.
you're
And,
wrong.
I'm like,
It's fun. I mean, for me, it's like great content. Like I don't really,
yeah.
take it
Yeah.
personally. I'm like, you're just.
yeah,
I'm not surprised. It's funny. Like usually the only times it kind of bothers me when people are like offended.
Yeah.
Like that I said that something is in Russia and they're like, you a colonizer. Moldova is not in Russia. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Don't worry.
That's why
I
I'm not
promise.
talking about Moldova. But
Goodness.
so that's when I'm like, you know what, cool it. You don't need to do that. But when people are generally confused or when they ask me like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what is this country? And I'm like, Google.
Google.
yeah,
Hi.
honestly, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
weird how like people like keyboard warriors. It's like why you have the Google? Why not implement some thought process?
There's something in it for them, I think. They I think sometimes they know that they may have even Googled it already, but they want to engage.
They want to stir the pot.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's, it's sort of like, I hate to say it, necessary evil, I guess, of the app. Like, I don't care. The more of them, the better, in the sense that there will be more adequate people that will see my content just because some idiot from dumbass comment.
That's true.
So that's
That's
kind of
true.
how the app works. In the, I don't know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I haven't, analyzed it in my head, but I'm
Yeah.
like, sure, go off. Like, I'm not going to stop you. This is democracy. This is free space. Like, as
Yeah.
long as there's now like assaulting or like being mean to other people
Yeah.
or like bullying anybody,
Mm.
I'm like, well, just if you want to be openly an idiot online on the internet, it's like,
That's your choice.
that's your choice. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm just gonna keep ranking for the algorithm.
Yeah,
giving it.
Woo. Oh my goodness.
You need to ask about the thing, because I know you want to.
What?
Because the nettles.
I do. How the hell do you fucking eat nettles? How the
nettles
fuck do you
grow
eat
like,
nettles?
so common in England, and everyone has. And there's actually a saying, like the handful of bees.
Yeah.
You say you grasp the nettle. Like that's
Grasp the
England's
nettle.
way of saying grabbing the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
You just go for it. You grasp the nettle.
Why
with
would you grab the
confidence.
bull by the? Oh, I thought you said balls. I'm like,
Oh, you grab the bull by the balls.
I'm like, this is bold.
Very
I
brave move
mean-
there.
This is not the type of bold I am.
No, you're asking for it.
This is just like straight up suicide.
Yeah. Right.
It really is.
Oh my god.
Oh. No, but that it's the same thing. The grasp of the nettle is like, go for it. Just feel the fear, do it anyway.
Just do it. Well, because I know you've talked about it having a lot of good properties for
Yeah,
magic
I
and
feel like
healing,
it just, I don't see it as pain.
Mhm.
It's more like, mild inconvenience, but
Mhm.
also like, I don't know, maybe that's a Russian thing, just masochistic in general. But there's no like people, maybe it also comes from my family. Most of them are peasants and poor. And so like,
Mhm.
there's really no way to get away from pain in life, like physical and moral pain. It's just
Right.
going to be there all the time. So you might as well like joke about it or accept it as much as you can and
Mhm.
make sure that it serves well for you. Like nettle, if you put a leaf on your knee and it stings, but at the same time it's healing your joints, it's drawing more blood circulation to the area, and overall that's kind of like, plus I feel like when you build up tolerance for something, it's also a little bit different. And generally when you're emotionally prepared for this type of like pain or the feeling, you're like, I don't know, like that's what I thought it's going to be. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's more of that, and usually people are just maybe also too tired and too busy to fix certain things. Like when you work in the field, or if you walk somewhere and you got stung by a nettle, like literally you have bigger problems than that. So
Yeah, honestly.
That's
like
the smallest thing, yeah.
yeah, and you're like, oh well, it's a nettle bite or something. Or if you get a bug bite, or if you get like a cut, it's usually like a simple fix, and you need to move on to other things. You can't just be all like, oh, this hurts. That's kind of like what people don't like in Russia a lot, when something is like hurts you in a way, like physical pain. It's considered I don't want to say not immoral, but it's more like looked down upon if you express your pain, which is not always healthy. Like you could take it to a wrong place, but also mostly just because of the trauma and what people had to go through with the war and overall just poverty and kind of the lifestyle. You have to keep pushing, otherwise like you just not gonna last. And people around you are also poor, so to complain to other poor people that you were poor or something, that's like like just you gotta do something about it. Like you can't just be like all sad and stuff. So you can't complain. Russians don't like when you complain about things that are not comfortable or something like that. They're just like, so American, you can't do that. If I tell my mom about anything, she's like, what the hell is this America did to you?
Oh no.
Wait until she's comfy to the point that she's all like, I don't want to deal with any
I don't want to deal with
anymore.
this. Yeah.
So it's It's
Mhm.
again like you said, you try to find the truth, but there isn't any. There's just situations
Yeah.
that you want to keep peaceful and make sure that you keep moving forward safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's good. Yeah. See the nettles, I agree completely with you.
Mhm.
Like they don't really hurt. Like it's not a
Yeah.
it's weird. It's like even if you walk past them, it's like a strange tingle that eventually
Mhm.
becomes a little bit itchy, and it's not really a we used to make soup.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Soup.
Nettle soup is lovely. And the tea as well. You use
Mhm.
like the top two leaves, similar
Yeah.
like in actual tea, you know.
You could put it in tacos or like even salad, just
Ooh, a taco.
raw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's really
it's
nice.
great.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes when I eat the nettle like for TikTok, I'm just
Mhm.
trolling people
Yeah.
just because it's just so obnoxious. People like, oh my god, you're crazy, and I'm like, I'll give it to you. I know what you want. I'm
gonna
like,
do
step
it.
it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Let's do
have
it.
like a red lip for the rest of the day
Oh.
No.
from eating it, but it doesn't bother me. I'm like, I hope my
Yeah.
lips get bigger.
Yeah. Right. It's a new thing.
Not really, but it's more of like I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
whatever. Like my dumb ass was eating nettle for camera, so that's what I get.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to grow some
Mm.
because I was shocked that that it doesn't grow like because it's everywhere in Europe. It's everywhere.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
nettles are everywhere. They'll grow everywhere, and so I was really shocked. I was like, "There's no stinging nettles."
Mm-mm.
Like,
I feel like they're just because they're inconvenient in America. They're just like, no,
yeah,
Mm.
just get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot more poison oak or poison ivy.
Yeah.
That's not fun either.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, at least nettle is giving you healthy pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poison ivy is not giving you anything.
No, it's not giving you nothing.
No benefits whatsoever.
That's true.
All right. You
Yeah.
ready? Your
Yes.
turn. Pick one.
Okay.
It's like Russian roulette. Look at that connection.
It's not that risky though.
I don't know.
I'll go with this one.
You're so embarrassed of me. I
No,
love
I'm
it.
not.
You are. Look, he's turning red.
No, I'm not. I'm not embarrassed.
If you keep pushing it, girl, you will be.
I know, right?
I'm just kidding.
I want to ask this.
Okay, do it.
How does it feel to
Mhm.
educate so many on Slavic cultures and specifically their female oppression?
Yeah,
Is there something in your life that inspired you to create this awareness?
absolutely.
To create what?
This awareness.
Of female
I see.
oppression.
Well, I feel like it's just something that I deal with every day in many ways. So like it's hard to shut up about it. And I sometimes I also feel like people lack a different perspective on things.
Mhm.
That is a little bit simpler and
Yeah.
kind of more straight to the point, which I feel like a lot of Slavic and Finno-Ugric people have, or just people that live in like Eastern Europe.
Mm.
The ones that used to be in like Soviet Union and all of that. So they have a little bit different way of approaching things,
Mhm.
which is a little bit harsh, but also, useful in many ways. So that's why I feel like when I share certain things, I try to make sure that everybody feels included, but also they understand that, there's certain I guess that's again like that was thing. Like, I don't want you to be all complaining about stuff, like acknowledge who you come from, like see those women, realize on whose shoulders you stand as a person who raised you, what they had to go through. And like, really, after all of that, you're going to sit here and complain about something that you can just handle. Like, that's what I try to make sure that people understand. And with female oppression, I feel like it's more just acknowledging what they've gone through in order for women right now to not stay complacent and not stay quiet, not stay like convenient to other people. If you want to say something, if you feel like something is wrong, you're supposed to stand up and say it, because all these women, your mothers, your grandmothers, had to shut up and didn't have an opportunity to talk, and they just had to work and raise you and all of that. Like, really, we have problems in the world, but really you are not in the war. Nobody, like, people around you are not dying. So like, really, you have two two legs, two hands, you have a head on your
Mhm.
shoulders that works. This is kind of like the whole philosophy of anyone in Russia. Like you have that, like that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed to shut up and just work
Mhm.
and try to make sure that everybody around you feels better.
Mhm.
So I think that's what missing on TikTok, or what I feel is missing. I'm not
Missing.
sure if it is actually, but that's how I feel. Just people complaining about little things or about like trivial things, and I'm like, really? Or I don't know,
Yeah.
like there's some stuff you just have to do. You have to, you know, get off the couch and actually go and execute on something, and people just procrastinate and they try
Mhm.
find excuses for it, or
Right.
you know, blame somebody else for it. And it's really not about that. As long as you can
Yeah.
get yourself a little bit ahead and a little bit of better place
Yeah.
where you know, provided for, and you can provide for your own people. That's all you want to do.
Mhm.
And I think
Mhm.
Russian women are great at that. And I really didn't want it to be about, like, not that I didn't intend it to be that way. It just came to
Yeah.
be because of the way people interacted with my content,
Right.
you know. So that's kind of like something that I started to talk about. I mentioned a
Mhm.
few of my opinions on like Black Lives Matter and how
Mhm.
Eastern European people should acknowledge white privilege. And that's kind of like where it all started, with people like, wow, what privilege are you talking about? We're so poor and our lives are so hard. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not, you know, in Russia, you're in
Mhm.
America, and out here, you're a white girl. Like,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, or whatever, however
Mhm.
oppressed you feel in your own country,
Right.
which, you know, I understand, but at the same time, there are worse things. And like, really, you come from the line of these women, and you're gonna come here and just bitch about
Yeah.
having white privilege. Just, you know, like, acknowledge it, understand it, like figure out how you can make other people's lives better and move on. That's what I try to make people understand. I don't know if I am clear with my content on that, so, you know, the time will show.
I think you
Yeah, I
are.
think so.
I mean, that's what we got from it.
Yeah.
That
It's true though. That is the thing, that there is always someone who has it
Mhm.
worse.
What are some misconceptions do you think that others might have about you?
I'll be fun to like ask people what
It
are the
would be.
misconceptions.
Yeah.
I have no clue. Some people, if I judge by people in the comment section,
Mm-hmm.
some people say I'm selfish and like metal. I don't know. So I'm like, well, I get metal. Like, I get how you'd see that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take it.
But like selfish, like, really?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it sounds like a you problem.
Yeah. I don't see that.
So I don't know what would be the misconception. Oh, some people didn't know like how I look, because I always have just a face in there.
Mhm.
And I think I did the video one time where I was like in a dress that was tight, and
Oh,
people
your
were like,
sexy
"What?"
dress one. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, are you actually hot?" And I was like,
That's a bit
like, I
rude,
know
isn't it?
like I know it, and I feel like people like, "Oh, we thought, you know, there's nothing to show," and I was like, "No, it's just not for you." Like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah, why would I
about
put
you
that?
seeing
That's
it.
not what my content's about.
Yeah, and I think maybe people think that I'm straight. And that's one thing. And sometimes well, I am married to a man, so that would be easy to
But
kind
allude
of
to
get
that,
confused
yeah.
there. Yeah, but just general, like, some, because I wear like a head wrap or something, people would like ask me like, oh, like low-key trying to make sure that I'm not homophobic. And I was like, which part about me make you feel that I would be homophobic? Yeah, so like that's the only like misconception that I think people have. Like, that's why sometimes when people ask, and I'm like, huh? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. But you know, you don't know what you don't know. So I would need to ask people like, what are the misconceptions about me?
What do you think? That'd be a good TikTok, actually.
I know what mine would be.
What?
Everyone thinks I'm short.
Everyone does. Everyone thinks he's really short. Everyone's like, oh, you're only like 5'7" or something.
I'm one of life's slouches.
You are.
I'm famous.
You're very
for it.
slouchy.
And yeah, even now you look taller than me sitting here. Look at that. Look.
I do.
I can't. Oh, that hurts too much. No, no, I'm a sloucher. That's it. Yeah. But I think that, I don't know.
That's the only one you got.
Someone once asked me. Why do I cut my hair like this?
Oh, oh,
And
that's sad.
Yeah, and I was like, it's not a hairstyle. It fucked off. It's gone. It's not a hairstyle.
You could just say like
this.
you channel your inner Bruce Willis. That's
Yeah,
all.
there you go.
That's all they have to know.
I say I've got my head on upside down.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I had to visualize it for a second.
but,
That's funny.
and people ask me where I'm from, and that's one of the things which is really difficult.
Australia.
No, but because I often think that that's what they're asking. Where are you from? But some people, they assume that you know that they know that you're England, so they are actually asking where from England.
England, are you from? Oh, okay.
And so then you'll be like England, and they'll kind of make you feel like an idiot because they'll go, "Yeah, I know that, but where are you?" Because you're always asked
you're getting
where you're
so
from,
many,
like in such a broad sense. Usually, you don't think that someone
would actually know.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's one of the ones. I think that's it, to be honest. Don't you think?
Yours aren't very juicy at all.
No, they're not. Can't help it.
At least I had the straight and homophobic thing going for me.
Yeah,
you gotta have something.
You gotta have something.
Oh, I think some people think that I'm a Norse pagan.
Oh yeah.
That's one of them.
I can see that.
That's one of them, and I'm technically I'm not really. In the same sense, I don't know, like.
Well, there's a lot of Norse pagans that are really white supremacist-y.
There are, but there are just as many. They're not Norse pagans. Let's get that clear, though.
Oh, okay.
They're not. They're not Norse pagans because then they've missed the whole point. I mean, if they read the Havamal, they can't. You can't be racist and read the Havamal because the Havamal actually tells you about like accepting one another and like it's very specific about that. So I don't think they just bastardize and kind of regurgitate
their ideals,
Nordic and things like paganism, and apply it to this thing because they turn their racism that way for them into some sort of.
They like justify it.
Yeah, justify it into a twisted fate, almost giving themselves some kind of ancestral.
It's almost like a religion
thing, and it's not. But that's honestly that's one of the biggest peeves for me. That is because it's to take something like that and then just.
Yeah, it's similar to Radnagri, the Slavic one. Like some people saw a few of like Radnagri guys at the coop in Washington, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh boy,
who are those guys? And I feel like it just attracts a certain crowd just because of how decentralized it is. Like in the case of Radnagri, like there aren't any like institutions that like make sure that this is the message stays clear. No, it's just a bunch of people like living in the villages practicing what they think their ancestors practice. So like they're not really regulating anybody or doing anything, and because it's so on the fringe, it grows, like it attracts people who are also on the fringe, just on another spectrum, on another side, and it just creates a little weird situation. So
that's difficult.
It gets a bit awkward then.
Yeah, because you do get those people on your page on occasion, and that's awkward too.
Really, and you can sometimes spot them, but it's like. It's what you said. As long as no one's being mean or like spreading anything hateful or anything like that, it's fine. And that's the thing. The same in the lives. Like when that person said that to you, regardless if it was you or was someone else. If someone says, "I said," you don't talk to her like that. You don't talk to each other like that. If that's the point of we got the moderator. Even on the lives, I'm just gonna block you. Like if you come in and you start saying hurtful things to other people, I'm just going to block you because this is I'm just trying to make a place where people can just come and relax, get a reading, and we can talk about stuff. That's it. It's just it's almost impossible, but I think it's nice to have that sort of safe space, especially when it comes to the whole witch talk thing as well, because I noticed that on Witch Talk, so many people kind of condemn people for asking questions.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, where did you start? like this person is just trying to start. They don't know that, and
Well,
it's like,
to be devil's advocate there, though, like they're getting asked that same question 2,000 times a day or something like that.
yeah, but
Like,
so is a teacher, and a good teacher will always
Yeah, that's
respond the
fair.
same.
yeah,
And
That's fair.
that's the kind of, if you're going to be on TikTok and you're going to say these things and
Yeah.
educate people or talk about these things, then you're a teacher. And so I think you have that responsibility to like try and treat everyone as
to
though,
not shame anyone.
yeah, not
for their-
shame them.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah,
think-
I feel like now with that new feature, I don't know if you got it, where you can make playlists.
Yeah.
I think that would be super useful because people keep asking me the same questions, like about books and stuff. I'm like,
Mhm.
it doesn't make sense for me to redo the same TikTok over and over, like every month,
Yeah.
for people to remember about it. So it would be cool to just make a playlist where people
playlist
could
of
go and
Mhm.
and look at all of that stuff. But some people are just lazy and they just ask you questions, and I'm like,
Yeah, they just
sometimes I see it and I'm like, I just don't respond. I'm like, I responded to like one or two people. Like, you look at the comments and just
Look at
not
the
ask me the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
fair.
also like a moment of like time management. Like, if I'm gonna be just responding to everybody to the same question, it's not gonna get me far.
No, that's true too.
That's true.
You have to, that's something we're really struggling right now with, is balance. And
Yeah, it is.
And I think we've had to take a step back in the last month or so, and things have really slowed down for us, but in a good way, because it's
Yeah,
given us
it's
time to
given
really
us a chance to sort of-
reevaluate where
Yeah,
we want to be going.
Yeah.
So,
And I think people talk too much on TikTok sometimes, like they post way too many videos.
yeah,
and
all
I'm
of a
like,
sudden it's like a
no
burst of
one
12
is
videos.
interested in you that way, to see 13 videos of you doing the exact
Mhm.
same thing, or like responding to comments. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's depending on like what age you are and what type of person you are. Like, I'm not into like 1,000 videos from the same person. I'm just like,
Is there anything you would like to promote?
I feel weird when people like, oh, what do you want to promote? I'm like, I don't know. Kindness. That would be a nice thing to promote. But people seem to like my zine, and it's always fun when people find out about it. So that's probably what I would always say. Like, oh yeah, if you like what I make, that's something that you would enjoy probably more. And just to keep for yourself, like a little tiny, cute little book. And I try to put a bunch of presents for people, like little pins and stickers and stuff. So every time I send a package, I like pretend like it's Christmas for them when they get it. And I'm like, how are they going to think when they open this present? Like, what do I got to put this time in? So it's always fun to make those for people.
Oh, brilliant. That's cool. Yeah, I like that. I do that with letters as well. I like to write letters, and then I like seal them with the wax and the stamp. I love the whole thing of it. It was something like, when I lived in England, we would send each other letters because it was such a nice thing.
Yeah.
And then I'd keep it with me during like the work day, and I'd carry it with me, and which is nice.
That's cool. We should be pen pals. I would send you letters.
Oh, that'd be cute.
That would be
you
awesome.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know if out here, I don't feel like it's such a big thing. In Russia, it's definitely a thing to send each other letters. That's like an actual way of like communicating with each other, because not everybody has internet, like especially if you have relatives that are like in the villages somewhere, they like send you odd postcards. So that's something.
That's cute.
Yeah,
and especially like we have all guys have to go to army for like a year.
Oh, you have that too.
No, we did.
Oh, you don't anymore?
No, we don't have that anymore.
For us, it's still mandatory, so they all have to go. Like, unless you have 2 kids somehow, by the time like you're supposed to go to the army. But other than that, you have to go. And so, like, my boyfriend went, and I would wait for him for a year, and would just send each other letters. And it's all like, I still keep them. Like, what, I don't know, 15 years later, I still have like the stack of his letters, and like I read them. Like, wow, I had somebody like that was like just so. I mean, it's like young love, and it's so beautiful, and it's just so pure. And And I remember myself how spoiled I was with attention. I was like, bitch, you really disappoint me.
That's amazing. Well, it's not
That's
like
cool.
that anymore.
No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's not. But
And then we have to buy. I had I had to look up what a zine was today, or a zine. I probably said that wrong because I've never heard of it before.
oh, she was just talking about them.
Yeah, they're really cool.
But yeah, the promotion thing to promote something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Here's all if that's okay.
Well, we have to ask me for anyways. You do it anyway.
I was actually planning.
Those are fun. I think I started them. Well, not I think. I used to have a photography studio in downtown LA.
Okay.
But because of the pandemic, I had to close it down. And I was like, well, just because I just didn't feel like it was really the right thing to do. Just because I charge quite a bit for my services as a photographer. And so like, I'm like, people are out of jobs and struggling to get by. And really, this is what kind of like would be my business to. It just didn't feel essential or necessary for the world at the time. Like beautiful photos are great, but also like I had to do a reality check and be like, really, I need to also move on and do actually something that I can apply myself to artistically. And that it's also meaningful for other people, something that they would feel like they get enough value and that they can afford to buy. And so I made a first zine just to be like, we'll see how that goes. And then that just like blew up and, you know, it just took a whole another turn. Now I have 5 of them. So it's kind of keeps growing and growing and growing. So I like that.
Exciting.
Yeah.
And for me, like I like to do too many things. And I feel like the zine is like a good combination because I get to write, I get to draw, I get to organize, I get to like do a layout. I get to like promote it. I get to photograph the zine. I get to do like a bunch of different things around it and like some manual labor, like folding the pages, like stitching, because I stitch them all by hand as well. And I have to like print them. So that's kind of like makes me feel like I actually see what I made. Like I can touch them. Yeah. When with photos, it's all digital. And I'm like, well, it's out there. Like,
that's
it.
Yeah.
But with zines, it just feels like more interesting. And now like I can go back to photography, but I'm like, I don't know. This is way more fun. This is way more fun.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's really cool. I want one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a new hobby. I'm gonna start collecting them.
Nice. Yeah.
He's like, do it. Yeah. I love it. All right,
make your own. I mean, if you
girl.
I don't know when you would find the time, but
yeah.
You should write an article for me, like if you want to.
Ooh,
I have people from TikTok that did write. I don't know if you know Mara from she's a Welsh witch. With like red hair.
Yep.
Do you know her? So she wrote like an article on Welsh mythology for my issue about mermaids. So I did a whole issue about like Slavic mermaids, different types, different water spirits and creatures and stuff like that. So she wrote about, you know, the Welsh mythology on that. And that was like just super fun that I was like,
wow.
Yeah,
let's really do it. And I was like trying to figure out how I can pay you. And she's like, wow, I don't need nothing. I just want to write an article. And I was like, wow, okay, sure. That's
cool.
And now we're like great friends. And she has a book coming out. And I was like, buy Mara's book. This is what I want to promote.
There you go.
It's just like, it's so nice. I feel like Wichita is such a good community in the sense that people that are big actually like really good people.
Yeah.
You know, like you watch their content and you're like, like I could see why you have the platform that you have. You deserve it. You really work hard. And most people are like very adequate.
Yeah.
You know, they just have good values and good like understanding of things. So I'm like, I like these folks.
We have a little community here. It's really cute.
It is sweet. It's very nice.
I love it.
Yeah. It's good.
Good peoples. What would you write about? What would you want to write an article about?
Oh, I would give you like the theme because each zine has a theme. So the next one that is coming is going to be about like I'm trying to find the right word in English, like basically not magicians, but like either witches or like spiritual people that were kind of like an enigma of a certain culture. Like we have, for example, Itigelev, who's like a was a monk in like the Siberia, so he was like Central Asian, like and he was basically just practicing his own religion, and he was a shaman, and he was many different things, and he was a Buddhist as well. And so he basically the only like government recognized person that is like eternally living. Like he's it's like a Buddha thing. So his mummified body that nobody mummified, he just sat and like kind of like shrunk. If that it's like he didn't die, like he just like shrunk, and then they just opened the box where he was like sitting, and then he's in a temple and people come, like he looks dead, but people can't like make sure that he's dead because he's still warm.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Like so it's very weird, and so government recognized him as like a miracle. People just don't understand what's going on with him, but the monks say that he like reached a certain level of enlightenment through his knowledge and through his work, that he's just like eternally living. Some people like that. We have like Vanga, who's like the witch that predicted the future, or like the saint, not Saint Mary, I don't know how to would be in English, but we have another woman that's like was blind and would predict the future. And it's always like interesting to like understand their life and how it all interacted with the like socioeconomic conditions that they lived in, like communism and all of the things, and like how that impacted their image and like all of that, and just were they real, like was the gift real, like I don't know, so like that type of thing. So if you have any like figures like that in your culture that you know of, that would be, I think, fascinating to just collect them in one space and be like, well, let's ponder on these folks, like what's up with them, like what's up with them,
what's going on. That's cool.
Yeah, that would be very cool actually.
So ponder,
think
about it.
Ponder.
Have a good old think.
Yeah.
All right. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram as Antlered Crown, or on YouTube as Elwyn the Witch.
I offer a variety of psychic readings, including bone, tarot, and clairvoyance, as well as spiritual consultations, which are done live and scheduled via Zoom. I am also offering spell work and custom merchandise, all of which you can find on my website, theantleredcrown.com. For the month of June, use the code CROWN20 for 20% discount on anything from my website.
There you go. And you can also join our community on Patreon and get access to our Discord server. We have group meetings, we have one-on-ones, and other goodies depending on the tier level you choose.
Speaking of which, here is our Antlered Crown Patreon shout out.
Denora, Debbie, Elizabeth, and Samantha. Woo, 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 woo. Do, 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 do. And always remember.
What?
Oh.
No, that's not it.
I forgot what you're supposed to always remember.
I forgot.
Next time, we'll be talking about the basics of witchcraft and things you need to know as you start your practice.
All right. And always remember.
Tip your witch bitch.
Thank you.